Hello, everyone. We are live in Arlington, Texas. Scotty, Braun, Pierzynski, Trevor May, and we'll join our guest in just a moment here on FT, on Bally Sports, and on the app nationally, also on Marquee. And hello to the YouTube audience as well. We're at the Players House here right next to the ballpark at Texas Live. And joining us right now at the top of the show, let's welcome the rookie, the all-star from the Chicago Cubs, Shota Imanaga, along with his interpreter, Edwin. Shota, it is great to have you on. Thanks for being here. How excited are you to be an all-star?
オールスターに出れてどういう気持ちですか？
ものすごく光栄ですし、この番組にも出られて嬉しいです。
It's a big honor, and the fact that I can be on this show, that's also a great honor too.
But before we get into anything, ask him what it's like to be on the second most favorite team in Chicago.
シカゴの2番目にお気に入りのチームにいるっていうのはどうですか？
シカゴの2番目の、
ホワイトソックスとカブス。元ホワイトソックス選手。
まあ僕はちょっとまだ歴史を勉強したいので、これからしっかり歴史を勉強したいと思います。
I need to look into the history, so I'm going to start study the history of the teams.
Okay, yeah. Cubs? No good.
No. Who did you watch growing up? Who were your favorite pitchers?
子供の時に一番好きだったピッチャーは誰ですか？
やっぱランディ・ジョンソン選手だったりとか、まあ、ロジャー・クレメンス選手だったりとかをよく見てました。
I would say Randy Johnson and Roger Clemens.
That's big. Those are good ones, man. Also a very big Randy Johnson fan. I'm from Seattle. Expanding on that question, I'm always fascinated by Japanese players coming over and how much Major League Baseball you watched when you were a kid. What about Japanese players that were playing before you? Who are your favorites of those?
メジャーにも来ていた日本人の選手とかの中で一番お気に入りの選手は誰ですか？
やっぱりダルビッシュさんですね。やはりいろんな怪我とか苦しい時期を経験されているので、僕もたくさんアドバイスをもらいましたし、これからもたくさんアドバイスをもらうと思います。
So I would say you, Darvish. He's had injuries, he's had tough situations, and he's been able to, continue, keep going. So I've talked to him, I've learned from his experiences, and he's given me advice.
Do you talk to Darvish?
Darvish さんに話したんですか？
Yes.
Yes. Is he your friend?
友達ですか？
尊敬する友達です。
A friend that I look up to.
Okay, so he's like the idol, a big idol of Japanese pitchers, right?
日本人ピッチャーにしてはもうアイドルっていうかその目標みたいな選手なんですよ。
もうみんなが憧れるような選手です。
Yeah, I would say everybody looks up to him as a player.
So I caught Darvish in Texas.
テキサスにいた時にキャッチャーをしてた。
2013.
2013年。
Remember the game he had perfect game and the ball went through his legs?
完全試合投げてて、打球がダルビッシュさんの股の間に。
8 and 2/3, perfect game between his legs.
8と3分の2は完璧に。
I hate you, Darvish.
あったね。はい。
I hate you, Darvish.
ダルビッシュさんは嫌いです。
Because if he catches the ground ball, perfect game, we celebrate. He has to buy me.
完全試合だったんですけど、そしたらみんなでお祝いできたんですけど、取れなかったです。
Was that your only opportunity to perfect game?
No, I got one, but that would have been number 2.
Oh, man. How many people have 2, though?
それが2回目だった。
But Darvish, very good pitcher. He has the best stuff I've ever seen. He has the best stuff I've ever seen. 17 pitches, curveball, slider, cutter, two-seam, split, four-seam, everything. Best one I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Shota, I have a question for you about the offseason and how the process went to sign with the Cubs. We've said on our show that Shota was one of the most highly debated pitchers to ever come to the United States because they didn't know how the stuff would play out in the major leagues. Clearly, it's played very well. You're an all-star. Did you read into any of that? Did scouts or anybody talk to you about, how they thought your game would translate to MLB?
今永さんがメジャーに来るとき、ポスティングされて、その時の評価がいい選手なんですけど、メジャーリーグではどう通用するかっていう話だったんです。で、今見てオールスターになって成功も築いてるんですけど、今永さんはそれに対してどう思います？
本当に カブスに入って、自分の今までやってきたことと、新しく取り組まなければいけないことを、勉強させてもらって、それが今うまくいってる段階かなと思います。
So I think, after joining the Cubs, like I was able to use my experience and stuff I learned from the team, the staff, the pitching coaches. I think I was able to combine both of them to lead to the success.
I want to put this on the record. I was a big fan of the Cubs signing you. I get excited. I love your fastball and four seams up. That was my thing. One thing that I noticed right away was how confident you are at pitching the major leagues and in the atmosphere of Major League Stadium, something you looked like you had experienced before. Pitching away, going to another park, which park do you think has the loudest atmosphere? Which park has been the hardest to pitch in terms of fans, loudness?
まずはその今永さんがカブスと契約したことはもう賛成してたらしいです。で、その今永さんを投げているので、すごい自信持って投げてるように見えるんですけど、その今永さん他の球場に行って、どの球場が一番観客の歓声が大きいですか？
僕開幕戦はこのレンジャーズの球場で迎えたんですけども、その時は投げなくてダグアウトで見てたんですけど、やっぱ前年優勝してたっていうこともあって、すごい歓声だったんで、その時にメジャーリーグのこの声援ってすごいなっていうのは感じました。
So for opening day, we opened on the road in Texas here, and I didn't pitch, but I was in the dugout and I could just hear the cheers from the fans and how loud they were, and they won the World Series, so you just kind of experienced that in the beginning. It made me appreciate how the fans are.
What's the difference between an MLB crowd and a Japanese crowd? I went to Japan in 2002 and did the tour.
Yeah.
So, and I saw the crowds there with everything they do. What's the biggest difference for him?
彼はその2002年に日本で野球の試合やったらしいんですよ。確かエキシビションの試合で。で、そのメジャーリーグと、NPB の観客の違いって何ですか？
日本の場合は、応援、攻撃のチームが応援のファンが応援しているので、守りの時のファンの人は、静かにしてるんですけど、その入れ替えがあるんですけど、MLB の場合は、いいプレーがあったら全体が盛り上がるし、常に盛り上がってる印象はあります。
So in Japan, when the team is hitting, that team's fans, they're going to start cheering louder, and the team on the fielding side, they're a little more quiet. And then when they switch, the fans switch too. With the MLB, it doesn't matter. Like if they make a really nice play, like everybody cheers for them. So I would say that's the difference.
So there are many people watching on national TV and YouTube. So some of them sent in questions. I'm going to mix a few in. And I also want him to know that most people are asking questions and addressing him with the name Mike. Is that okay?
質問がほとんどの質問がマイクさんにやってなってるんですけど、それで大丈夫ですか？
はい、こっちではそういうふうにこっちではそうなってます。
Yeah, I would say over here I'm Mike.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I'll give you a few of them now. Here's the first one from another Mike. Question for Mike. Best city besides Chicago, in his opinion, since being in the United States?
アメリカに来てから、シカゴ以外で一番大きいの街ってどこですか？
一番初めの遠征がサンディエゴだったんですけども、サンディエゴの街をちょっと歩いたときに、ものすごく太陽も明るいですし、街も綺麗ですし、すごくいい街だなと思いましたね。
So the first road trip after we opened at home, we went to San Diego, and I would say nice weather and the city is beautiful. So I would say San Diego.
Okay, I got another one for you. This is from Owl on YouTube. Question for Mike Imanaga. Will the Bay Stars overtake the Giants? Also, does he think the Marines will post Roki, considering it would hurt their chances of catching the Hawks?
Can you repeat the second part? I couldn't hear it.
The second one is, does he think that the Marines will post Roki Sasaki, considering it would hurt their chances of catching the Hawks?
まずはベイスターズは巨人に追いつくと思いますか？ っていう質問と、2つ目は、千葉ロッテマリーンズは佐々木朗希をポスティングすると思いますかっていうの、ソフトバンクに追いつける距離にいますかっていう感じ。
そうですね。まず、僕が前在籍していた横浜ベイスターズは、すごく戦力も、充実してますし、これからもっともっと、首位争いをしていくと思いますし、ロッテの件に関しては、あまり試合もちょっと見てない部分もあるんですけども、ポスティングをするかどうか
佐々木朗希を出したら、そのソフトバンクに、追いつけると思いますか？
選手のいろんな循環があると思うので、いっぱいいろんな選手がいるので、追いつけると思います。
I would say the Bay Stars, the team I was prior on, they have really good players. So I would say, they have a good chance. With the Marines, same thing. They have a lot of different players, a lot of high-quality players. I would say, yeah, they have a chance too.
Are they going to post Roki?
To catch the Hawks. 佐々木朗希はポスティングされると思いますか？
難しいですね。それはお互いのメリットとデメリットがあると思うので、今現時点で僕の判断はちょっと難しいですね。
I think that's a difficult question. I mean, there's obviously the pros and cons from both sides, so it's hard to say.
He can help recruit, though. Right?
Yeah.
リクルートの連れてくるのに手助けできますか？
僕の言うことを聞いてくれるかどうかわからないので、もしかしたら難しいかもしれません。
I don't know if he would listen to what I have to say, so it's probably going to be a little hard.
Keeping up the tension, I like it. A non-baseball question from a fan myself. What do you do for fun? Because guys do video games, hunting or fishing, golf usually, but I'm fascinated because I was able to find absolutely nothing on the internet about you. So if you weren't here at the All-Star game and you just had some time off, what would you be doing?
ネットで調べたら、あんまり情報出てなかったんですけど、今永さんは野球以外、趣味と何をしてるんですか？例えばこのオールスターに来なかった場合、この時間どう過ごしてますか？
野球以外の時間は、本当に家でソファーに座って、でもそれも例えば YouTube でメジャーリーグのすごい選手の YouTube を見たりとか、すごいピッチャーの YouTube を見たりとかしてるんで、もしここに来なかったら、湖で例えば釣りとか、ちょっとボート漕いでみたりとか、普段あまりしないことをしてみたいなと思います。
Usually, if I'm not playing baseball, I go home, sit on the couch, watch some YouTube. Usually, I'll look up something about MLB hitters or like MLB pitchers, see what they're doing. But I would say, if I wasn't here, I would probably want to try something that I don't usually do. So maybe go to the lake, try fishing, try going on the boat, stuff like that.
Who are you looking most forward to meet at the All-Star game and say hello to and get introduced to?
オールスターで誰と一番会いたいですか？誰と一番会って挨拶とかしたいってありますか？
パイレーツのポール・スキーンズ選手に会って、彼の体つきとか、投げれるボールとか、キャッチボールとか、ブルペンとかを見たいなと思いますね。
I'd say Paul Skeens, just talk to him about, like physical stuff, how he plays catch, what he does in the bullpen, just kind of observe.
How do the baseballs in Japan differ from the baseballs here? And have you talked to any players about the sticky stuff checks that they do here? Because they don't do that in Japan, right?
まずは、日本のボールとアメリカのボールってどう違うんですか？とチェックされるじゃないですか、審判。それは日本ではやらないんですよ。
まずボールの違いは、まず日本は気候的に湿気があって気温も高いので、すごい手に馴染みやすいですし、汗もかくので、ボールが握りやすいのと、僕はこちらちょっと乾燥してるなって感じるので、少しでボールも少しだけ大きく感じるんで、ちょっとだけ握りにくいなっていうのはありますね。あとはボールチェックは日本では 今のところそういうルールはないですね。チェックするってルールはないですね。
Yeah, so in Japan, they don't have a policy to check as of now. And then in terms of baseballs, over there, Japan, it's a little more humid. It's a little hotter. So, like, I sweat a little bit more, so it's easier to hold on to the ball. I would say, over here in the States, it's a little drier, and I feel like the baseballs are slightly bigger, so it's a little harder to, like, hold on to.
Okay. Not too bad. I didn't know if you had big hands or small hands.
手の小さいか大きいか見たかったです。
アリゾナのキャンプとかは乾燥もしてるし、握りにくいんですけど、この前のオリオールズとかの気候は日本の夏に似てるんで、汗もかけるので特に気にならなかったです。
So like for spring training, in Arizona, it's super dry, still getting used to the baseball, so it's a little difficult to throw. But then we just played a series in Baltimore, and the weather over there is similar to Japan. It's a little hotter, it's a little more humid. So over there, I didn't have any issues.
Okay. Are you and Yamamoto friends?
山本由伸と友達です。
Yes. 毎日、ほぼ毎日のメッセージを送り合ってます。
Pretty much every day, we send messages, talk to each other.
Have you gotten to throw the javelin?
槍を投げたことある。
僕はチャレンジしたことないんですけども、日本でも彼の影響を受けてそういう練習を取り入れている人は何人かいます。
I personally haven't tried it yet, but I would say in Japan, people see what he's doing, and so they mimic him and throw the javelin over there too.
Okay, when's he coming back?
いつ帰ってくるんですか？
しっかり怪我が治って 100% に投げられる状態になれば必ず帰ってくると思います。
Once the injury is healed and he's 100%, I believe he'll come back.
Very politically correct. Very good.
Well, he doesn't tell him, maybe. All right, I have one more. What is the craziest fan interaction that you've ever had? I would assume that it would be one from Japan since you haven't spent as much time here yet.
多分日本のことになると思うんですけど、そのファンとかと触れ合って一番ちょっとびっくりしたその触れ合い方とかそういう出来事あります？
そうだな、ファンの人と、でも、試合中にベンチにいて、僕はないんですけど、何人かの選手がベンチ上のファンの人と、普通に会話をしている感じ。それは日本にはないなと思います。
じゃあもうすぐ一番びっくりしたやつ。
そう、その会話、試合中に会話とかしてるのがびっくりしました。
それこっちですか、日本？
アメリカで。
I would say like in the States, just I'm not the one doing it, but sitting in the dugout and just watching like a player just talk to a fan mid-game, like on top of the dugout. Like for me, it doesn't really happen in Japan. So I'd say that's a really interesting one.
Tell him when I went to Japan, we were in Fukuoka, and I was at breakfast with Bernie Williams and a couple other people,
right.
And we were just in a restaurant in the hotel, and there was Japanese fans. They were in the trees taking pictures of Bernie, yelling at him, and the security had to come and pull him out of the trees.
日本にいた時にマーニー・ウィリアム選手と朝ごはん食べてたらしいんですけど、日本に朝ごはん食べてる時に外の木の上にファンが写真撮ってたらしいですよ、マーニー・ウィリアム選手で撮ってたんでそのから降りろとか言われたらしいです。
Yeah, crazy.
You got one more?
No, that was it.
That was it? Awesome. Well, Shota, really appreciate you coming over here to spend some time with us. A big audience is watching that was excited to hear from you. Thank you so much. Have a blast this week, and good luck. We'll be watching.
Thank you.
And Edwin, thank you very much. That's Shota Imanaga, all-star rookie with the Chicago Cubs, and we'll be right back. What's up, people? Leo is here early. We're going to fly through our BetMGM locks because then we have more players joining us. Kratz, great to see you. We'll mess around with you a little bit later on. Let's show the home run derby odds, and we can skip the Friday locks if possible. We're just going to go right to our picks, but here's the odds, okay? So take a good look. And Trevor, I think you are going to pick an outright winner, so you can kick this off if you would like.
I got Marcell Ozuna taking the ship.
Marcell Ozuna.
Easy.
Do you have reasoning?
Yeah, I just think he's got a perfect swing to just backspin some balls over left field. Ball flies here. And with the limited swings, I just think he's going to maintain his endurance a little bit better than other guys. I just think he's got a perfect swing for a home run derby. So,
okay, I like it. Kratz, what do you got?
First pitch of Pete Alonso's home run derby. Dinger!
Nice and simple. I like that. And that's at plus 150. Ozuna to wins plus 375. I'm going to go with home run distance since the balls are juiced. 43.5 is the number. I'm going over at minus 110. And do we have Pap as well? Is Pap good to go? In one moment. I can do AJ first. Oh, Pap's good? All right, let's show Pap's pick.
FT Nation, what's up? It's your boy Parlay Pap. No parlay today, but I'm coming to you before I get on this flight because, man, I'm telling you, this pick right here is live, and it is a lock, I believe, and I love it, and it's plus 1,600, and it's the pick for the win the home run derby, and it's Alec Bohm, and I'm putting 100. We're going to win 1,600, and he's going to win this thing, and let me tell you why. His boy Bryce Harper, that's his boy. Yeah? They're in the clubhouse. Bryce has already won this thing. He's going to teach Alec how to win this thing because it's the pace. You got to pace yourself, man. He's going to show him how to do it. Let's get that money. Lock it in.
He was
Prognosticator is smooth today. That is a very, very bold pick. All right, you're up next. Then we got to get to our next guest.
All right, I'm going with the hometown guy right here. All right, look, they're giving out shirts, El Bombi. There's only one guy that can be called El Bombi. Adolis Garcia, over 23.5 homers. Now, it's not a good odds, but listen, if you're giving out these shirts around town, then you're going to hit a lot of homers.
Yeah, he's going to put on a show for the home crowd. So 24 or more homers in the first round. Obviously, it's a very different format this year. If we have time, we'll get to it, although we have a lot of all-stars joining us for this show today. And let's queue up our first bet offer that we always have for you here at BetMGM. Up to $1,500 back in bonus bets when you download the app on iOS or Android or visit BetMGM.com. Sign up and deposit at least $10 into your BetMGM account. Place your first wager and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if the bet loses. If that happens, your bonus bets will be available once your initial wager is settled. We are going to step aside for a moment, and then we will talk to Chris Sale joining us next. The All-Star with a dominant first half for the Braves. Ready to go in a few minutes when we swing back.
you're throwing 100 with,
Decided to.
put it this way, he was spinning this way.
Here we go. We're back. Hello, everyone. Chris Sale, the All-Star Atlanta Braves lefty, joining us right now on FT, and we're thrilled to have you, Chris. So,
does it count, though? Hold on. Does it count you're an All-Star because you moved your pitch day so you were scared to not pitch in the All-Star game?
You know, I've been embarrassed on national TV enough. I'm going to leave it to these guys. Let the big dogs go out there and throw their 100. I'm going to sit back and enjoy it.
There was a day now where you were like, I can throw 100. Why can't I pitch?
That was a few surgeries ago.
but we brought that up. I brought that up just the other day, and I'm so glad you're on because that is a searing memory for me. You coming out and being like, "Oh, I got one inning. I'm gonna let this thing eat." And to me, that showed what you really had. And I know guys in the clubhouse talked about it. So when big league guys talk about it, and then you go out there and you're like, "Oh, I can do this," and you just blew guys away. Did you have that in your head before you went in there?
In All-Star games?
That All-Star game, the first one where you came out and you were like, you were normally like a 99 guy, and then you came out and you were just like 101 the whole time. Did you have that in your head, or was that just kind of spur of the moment?
I think, too, just like with adrenaline and just knowing, like, as a starter, like, you have more innings to carry. If I'm going out there for one inning, it's just just let it rip. I got one sprint to run as opposed to like a marathon. So,
okay.
You know, it's fun throwing hard.
but see, that confuses me because when you first came up, you were a closer and you didn't throw 100. So that's like, what changed? How did you go from like 92 when you were a little thumber to now all of a sudden I can throw 100?
Well, I went to the gym and I just got really jacked, and now that I got all these big muscles, I can throw a little bit harder now.
Different catcher.
Yeah,
he wasn't calling the right pitches, right, Trevor?
One.
It wasn't the right one.
No confidence.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
no confidence.
Sliders, no confidence.
So you had a fat finger. I needed a skinnier finger.
Are you saying possible John Smoltz situation moving forward? You know, one day you're like, I'm good on starting. Go out to the bullpen, get 300 saves, pitch here 48. What do you think? Sound good?
The day that I'm done being a starter is the day I'm done playing baseball.
All right, hey, it's fun.
I'm a house cat now. You know, I like knowing my schedule.
Do you remember the game? I've told this story on here, and these guys don't believe it. You pitched in against Tampa, I think, and you dealt, and you threw a bunch of sliders, and people were kind of like, "Oh, he's going to blow out." And then we went, I think, to Seattle, and Don Cooper told me he got 25 sliders to throw, and I said, "Remember this game?" And I said, "How am I supposed to keep track of that?" And he's like, I don't know. So I put 25 sunflower seeds in my pocket, and every time you throw one, I click one out. So I knew when I ran out.
I remember there were a couple times in my career they're like, all right, you have X amount of sliders to throw in this game. Go, like, figure it out. And, I guess it worked. I still ended up blowing out, so there we go.
Did they do that for an injury standpoint, or did they not explain it? Or was it like, hey, we need you to develop your other pitches?
I think it was more so just like the injury thing. Because in 2012, I had in early May, remember I got sent back to I started for April, ran into a little flexor thing, went to the bullpen, kind of had conversations to get back into the starting rotation. Yeah, you remember those conversations. I use that word loosely, but
arguing.
Well, there were conversations, and I got back into starting, and I think it was more so like, all right, let's try to not hurt this guy for the long haul.
It worked, but you still blew out.
Yeah.
So
10 years later,
but everybody blows out now, right? I mean, there's very few guys that don't blow out at this point.
And there's a lot of guys having it for the second time too, which is kind of alarming. But it's just, you know, that's the risk you take being a big league pitcher now. You know, like you sign that dotted line, you got to go out there and toe the rubber, and that's just kind of the risk for the reward that we seek.
How much is that talked about? Do the young guys bring it up and ask the vets, like, hey, what's the best way to preserve myself and prevent injury? Or are they just like, if it happens, it happens?
I think it's more so that one. Just there's no real formula that says, like, okay, you're not going to blow out. And, it was, you can put pitch counts on guys. You can stress, recovery, massage therapy, shoulder program. But there's no, you have guys that take really good care of themselves and blow out. And then you got guys that don't blow out. Yep. Is it the pitch count? Guys were, Nolan Ryan was throwing 200 pitches in an outing and then throwing on 3 days rest and never had it. And then you got guys that are on really strict pitch counts that blow out.
Let's be very clear here. 10 years with no injuries is pretty impressive. And to go that long, everyone gets hurt at some point. We're just not meant to do this. But you spent almost no time in the minors, correct? You were straight to the big leagues, and which is becoming maybe not that fast, but it's becoming more and more common that guys are getting up faster.
He was there in a month. He spent a month down there. He really grinded it out.
Yeah, I almost got 6 years.
In Charlotte, though, so that's extra.
Yeah.
Did you go to Charlotte or were you
I went
Birmingham?
to the old Charlotte.
That's what I mean, the old
yeah.
Charlotte. So that's
Winston-Salem and then the old
We
Charlotte.
drafted him in June, and then he was there in August. And we're like, what?
How old's this guy? Yeah. And now everyone's got 2 Chris Sales on their team. So what was the hardest part about just going straight from college pretty much to the big leagues?
Dealing with this guy.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, but you couldn't. If you had somebody soft that was a catcher, I don't think it would have built. Maybe you can answer better. I don't think it would have built you to what you are.
No, and I definitely did appreciate that too. I think that I say this all the time, and people ask me what I don't shake at all, right? I don't look at reports. I don't do any scouting. I don't watch video. I just go pitch. And people ask me how I've done that. And then if you think about not only my entire career, but my entire life, I've never called a pitch. I'm in Little League, it's the coaches calling it. Get to high school, my coach is calling it. I got to college, I dare you to shake off your college coach. I dare you.
Even at FGCU?
Yeah.
You know what? You should have shook off the one you threw to DeGrom where he hit it off the
That
car.
was that's the only one. And check the tape. That was a bomb.
I know. He hit a car
that was
by.
a freaking bomb. But and then I get to the minor leagues. I'm a first rounder. I'm the new guy. I'm not going to be the a-hole to shake off these guys. And then I get to the big leagues and he's my first catcher. I'm not going to shake.
A-hole.
I'm not going to shake him off. And then I got Burley as he was the guy when I first got to Chicago. He was the guy, and he never shook off. So it's I had never called a pitch for myself in my entire life, and then I'm going to get to 24 years old and start doing that. Just kind of makes it easier for me to just go out there and compete.
Yep. What changed this year? I mean, besides health, right? Because you were one of the most dominant dudes forever. Okay, then obviously you went to the Red Sox, you won the World Series, and then things started happening. You started getting hurt. You falling off bikes. You jumping in front of cars and all these crazy things. But
It's playing Frogger.
Yeah, seriously,
Real life Frogger.
Probably would have had better luck with that, honestly.
But what changed this year? I mean, besides health, right? I mean, you're 13-3 with a 2. I picked you to win the Cy Young, so no pressure. But
Try not to screw that up.
But what changed?
I just think it was the health aspect of it. I finally had a full off season. Every off season since 2018, I've gone into the off season rehabbing something. Whether it be my shoulder after the World Series, my elbow the next year, the wrist, the pinky, all that stuff the year after that. I started throwing bullpens this past offseason at the time where I started just picking up a baseball in previous off seasons. So I just think being able to get my feet underneath me and I just had to throw. I just had to get a lot of throwing done. You know how it goes, man. I played so much long toss this offseason. I was probably 15 bullpens deep before I got to spring training.
You were trying to make the team.
Yeah, well, I was trying not to suck,
He would have gone to winter ball if he was trying to make the team.
Yeah, pitching. I mean, what I have 140, 150 innings over the last 4 years, and I had 5 ERA. That's not fun, going out there and throwing primetime batting practice is not the funnest thing to do. So it was. I was able to kind of lock it in and take it serious and get a lot of throwing and just baseball activity done this offseason.
you mentioned all the injuries and just kind of having to battle through one thing after the other. And I've been there for a little bit, not quite that long, but a little bit. And is there something to getting that full offseason, obviously, but also like kind of getting a clean slate where that baggage isn't associated with the team? Like being in a training room in Boston, you have this like, I'm always here rehabbing. It's not normal, right? And having kind of the whole atmosphere kind of change, did that help and get better, you think?
I think so, and it's no knock on Boston or anybody there. Like those guys were amazing. Like what they did for me, not only in my career but in my life personally, for me and my family, I'll never be able to repay them. But I do think that I put a lot on myself when I was there. I get traded over there. We win the World Series. Show up the next spring training, sign this big contract, and then from that point on, literally was the worst part of my entire career. And I just felt like every time I stepped on a mound, I was trying to prove this, right? And that's just not clean living. That's a tough way to go through your career, or through an outing, or through a year. Is every pitch I throw, I got this contract on my mind, or trying to show this, prove this, or whatever. And, once I got here, it was kind of, okay, like, hey, you got a clean slate. Like, the trailer kind of got unhitched. And, and obviously the clubhouse is great. This is a great team we have in Atlanta. The staff is amazing. The fan base is awesome. And so that all those things kind of together got me kind of going in the right direction.
Can you say, yes, I was a change of scenery guy? And would you have said that before? Because all of what you just said kind of feels like it is, because we always talk about that. And did you think that before the season started?
I think it would be unfair to a lot of people that helped me out to say that it was only the change of scenery. But I do think that it had an impact. For sure. Okay. And I never would have really tabbed myself as a change of scenery guy. Wherever I'm at, you hand me the ball, I'm getting after it, no matter what. But I definitely do think that had some help.
I'm not getting you out of here without asking you a White Sox question.
Love it.
So it has nothing to do. You're not going to think where I'm going. So they have a guy that's at the All-Star game, Garrett Crochet.
Yes, he's better than me. That guy's.
No, that also wasn't what I was going to ask. But do you have any advice for him? Because they brought him up quick like you. They put him in the bullpen. He got hurt. He blew out, and now he's starting. And he's thrown more innings this year than he's ever thrown, probably maybe in his life. Do you have any advice for him about how to manage that, how to control being a starter, and how to get through the year and stay healthy?
I think if you look at his year and you look at my year, I should have more questions to ask him. But I think with him, he just keep doing what he's doing. He looks like his stuff is there every game, right? So I think he's bouncing back well. You look at just his body, the physicality of it. He's a big boy. Like it looks like he's prepared to make this jump and to do this. And I just, more so than anything, just stay on your routine, because whatever he's been doing has been working. So just carry that through the second half and just keep competing. Just keep filling up the strike zone, because that stuff is, it's unhittable every time.
By the way, I have a present for you, but are you going to start tight roll? You going to start tight rolling your pants the way he does, like 90s? No, this is not.
What's that? I got too skinny of legs to show these things off.
True. I have a present for you. So Adidas has brought you a present for the All-Star Home Run Derby. Since they have Adolis Garcia, El Bombi, they brought you a bomb pop. So you can have that.
El Bombi pops.
What is this? Is this legal?
Huh?
Is this legal?
I don't know.
This thing was brought in a special bag with dry ice.
What are these?
Oh, Bombi Pops.
These
are
Pops.
I was like, is that under
Adidas?
ice? It is under ice.
Yeah. Sick.
It's an Adidas
This
popsicle?
is sick.
Yeah. I
Adidas
come bearing gifts.
Yeah.
on a hot.
Yeah, another company I've been stealing money from for the last few years, so I can finally give them some well respected publicity.
Well, they still love you.
They still love you. I mean, no other way of showing love than a hot day. Yeah, no.
I don't need to be chipping any of these chicklets.
Yeah. No.
You paid a lot for them.
I was going to say, them Johns
I
you paid a lot for those.
Oh, you remember these Central Florida teeth I had before?
I remember those Lakeland teeth, trust me.
Maybe we could save these as a collector's item. I got to go find a
I'm
freezer.
eating mine.
Chris, thanks for swinging by. We're going to take a break. Appreciate you swinging by. How is it? Good?
What's that?
Is it good?
This thing is hard as a rock, but
Yeah, they seem like
okay, you went full.
That's delicious.
Yeah,
I went full. It's okay.
All right.
We're censored. Come on.
We'll
Just
be
a
right
blurred
back.
line across
Just a
Tanner
blurred
Scott
line.
is joining us next. Perfect way to go to break.
I hope someone.
That too, by the way.
Here we go. We are back on FT, on national television, on Valley Sports, on the app, and on FT YouTube. All-star Tanner Scott joining us right now from the Miami Marlins. And we've got the Marlins crowd watching, too, down at Fox Sports Florida. So great to see you. Congratulations on being named to the All-Star team. And what are you most excited about for the next 48 hours?
Taking it all in. I mean, meeting everyone. I mean, everyone's here for a reason, and I'm just looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
You were saying before we went on air here, I asked you how crazy and wild this whole experience is. What's the toughest part of this? Because everyone's like, oh, All-Star game, it's just the best. What's the toughest part of this?
Trying to figure out how your family's going to get here, and just like everyone, it's like, oh, how many tickets? Did you get this? Did you get this? I'm like, hey, if you figure out your flight, I'll figure it out. So my wife handled it also.
And how many you got? How many's coming out here, you know?
I think I'll have seven total, and then my son, so I don't even know if he counts as 8.
He counts.
8.
How old is he?
9 months.
9 months. He counts. Somebody's got to hold him.
Oh, yeah, he's a tank.
And when you're flying on the PJ, you're not holding him, baby. He gets his own seat.
No, he starts jumping around. He's a wild one. He's a wild one.
Oh, you flew on a PJ?
Huh?
You flew on a PJ?
Yeah.
Marlins hooked you up like that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just you?
No, us and the Reds.
Oh, you guys flew together.
Yeah.
So the Reds paid.
I don't know. I'm not going to say anything.
Actually, I don't know. Yeah.
Just go on the plane.
So you're going to get an invoice. You might get an invoice later.
Oh, stop.
No.
Stop.
Wait, so
I hope not.
Ellie will pick it up.
Ellie,
Yeah,
I was going to say, Ellie can handle it.
Hey,
You don't have
and
to play with Ellie.
Hunter Green was on there.
Hunter can Hunter can handle it more than Ellie.
He's got the good money.
Yeah.
For that plane, he's got the oldest money on that plane. Because he's been there. I mean, he's been in the league longer than anybody on that plane, right?
Yeah.
It was Hunter.
He's got a nice contract.
Ellie's got a nice contract. He's got old money.
Yeah.
That's right. Who is there anyone that you are excited to meet or talk to? And I don't know, if Trevor, you've come across this in your career where you're like, oh, I can't wait to face this team and just say hi to this pitcher and pick his brain, even if it's for a few minutes. Like, do you have that here when you've got the best on the planet?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know a lot of people, so it was like I saw Ozuna walking over, and then probably like Ohtani, Freddie Freeman. I mean, you always want to meet those kind of guys. So it's looking forward to it all.
Any pitchers that you want to see if you can learn one of their signature pitches? I know that's big in the All-Star game. Everyone's always like, DeGrom, show me how to throw 107.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Sale. I mean, his sliders. That's a nightmare.
All right.
So I might have to pick up on that one.
You gotta lower your slot.
I can drop down for
You gotta
one.
get like way down here.
I'll drop down for
Step
one.
over there. And
He's got to lose.
Yeah, I don't know about the step across.
you also have to lose about 50 pounds.
I was going to say, you got to lose some of that muscle too. Golly.
Yeah.
This is like every time I meet somebody new that I faced before, and then you like sit next to them, you're like, dang, like you're a big dude. Like you have some thickness. Like not what we just sat next to Skeletor.
Oh no,
but
a little thicker than him.
You're a little thicker than him, so maybe you can't. Maybe it's about that. Maybe it's about that like whip and everything, and like looking away. But don't discount your slider. Don't discount what you've been doing.
Yeah, his is gross though.
It is gross. It is gross. So props to that. But from pitching in Norfolk and kind of bouncing up and down with the Orioles to where you are now, would you feel like it? Do you feel like it's a meteoric rise? Do you feel like it was a slow progression to where you are now?
I mean, it's definitely slow. I mean, when I got traded to Miami, even my first year with Miami, it wasn't great. I was getting some saves, but I still had a terrible ERA. And then last year, it kind of something clicked for me, and I've just been riding it.
Keep riding it.
Question for you from a fan, Philip, chiming in. Can you ask Tanner why he thinks his fastball has played so well this year? Can you just kind of go over where you are with your arsenal right now?
I just trust everything. Like right now, I'm trusting my fastball in any count, my slider in any count. It's not like, oh crap, I'm behind, I got to throw this. It's like if I'm behind, I'm still coming after you with whatever I have, and just attacking with each pitch.
When you say you're trusting it, do you feel like that's trusting it more in the zone, throwing both pitches, get behind, you can throw a strike, and it's going to be fine. You might still get a swing and miss, that type of thing. Or are you talking about just generally?
I'm just in general just trying to throw it through the catcher. I don't want to just flip one in the zone because there's too many people that can hit it way farther, and I'm like, I don't want to just lob it in there. So I'm trying to like put it through my catcher's chest. Yeah,
Love that.
Literally, it looks like you are trying to throw it through him.
Yeah,
like it looks like you have full intent.
Mission accomplished. We can tell.
Yeah, that's my goal.
Whether you do or not, tell Fortes it's not it almost looks like you play catch. Instead of playing catch with him, you play catch against him.
Yeah, I'm trying to beat him up.
I'm trying to win.
That's like you are. It's. How do you feel like when people hit you up and you're like, oh man, it's a high wire act in the 9th inning? My argument to that always is that's why he's the closer. Like he's in there in that situation. Do you feel like that's an unfair representation of closers?
Yeah, I mean, anytime the phone rings, I don't care what it is. I want to face whoever's coming up. I'm just ready to go.
But there is one thing that I noticed that was very different about closing than being like a fireman or eighth inning guy. And that's every time that phone rings and it's not the eighth inning, it ain't you. Is that kind of nice? You enjoying that? Because I know I did.
Well, see, but when the phone rings and it's the eighth, I usually want it to be me, so I want to finish the eighth and the ninth.
Okay.
So it's like,
but even like say
like in a situation,
rings in the sixth or whatever,
oh,
you're
no.
like,
in the
instead
sixth,
you're like,
I'm
hey,
like,
you just look down there, like, who is it? Not
it's
me.
just like, hey, I'm gonna go use the restroom right now, and just. But
love that.
Go through that a little bit because you guys can talk about it more. When that phone goes and it's
that's pretty good.
Like
that's pretty good.
What's that feeling? Because you're already beamed up. You already got your Red Bull. You already got your mindset. I'm locked in. But when that phone rings in the eighth inning and you guys were winning by 3, now it's 2. What is your first feeling? What's the first thing you feel?
So instead of Red Bull, it's always Gatorade Fast Twitch. That stuff's
Gatorade
that
Fast
stuff's
Twitch.
Electric. 200 milligrams of caffeine.
I was gonna
So
say
it's immediately once you finish it, you're ready to go. And
you get the itch.
Yeah. It's probably the first time you got the itch since like P4 originally came out.
Yep. Okay.
And I mean, yeah, like your heart starts racing. You're like, all right, let's see how many it takes to get loose, and it's usually like the first one. You're like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah.
Some days it's like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Is that for you?
Yeah.
Some days it's like a
Some days
couple.
are like, it don't matter how much I warm up. It's going to be tough, but hopefully someone catches it.
I don't feel like it. Have you had any of those tough days yet?
What?
Where like you go? He said.
You go and you don't feel
you
great.
go to warm up and it's like, ooh, this one's going to be tough. Like to warm up.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, that's what we got today. Let's go.
Okay. So it's
just
you
gotta go.
You kind of
gotta
just
go with
decide. You're like, this is what we're
Hey,
doing.
you gotta fake it
and
till
I
you
have no
make it.
choice. I got to go do it.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, fake it till you make it.
You made it.
Oh, go ahead.
No. I just said he made it.
Marlins question for you. Who's the craziest dude personality-wise right now on the team?
Right now, it was Luis Ariz. When we had him. That guy's crazy. Right now, Nick Gordon.
Nick Gordon.
Gordon. I love his
Twins,
energy.
man.
Why?
He's on one at
Yeah.
all times, and I love it.
From pitch one or from like when he pushes through the doors of the clubhouse?
After BP and he's like getting dressed for the game,
He flips.
Yep.
Do you guys let G Cinco near the music?
Say it again.
Do you let him do the music at all? Is it just G Cinco all day?
He does the music sometimes, and then De La Cruz gets on it and usually change it.
Yeah.
You usually change it, or somebody usually
I
change
usually change it. And he's like, Scotty. I'm like, it's bad
Can't do
music.
it.
Not good music.
Yeah, I give him crap all the time about it. He asked for techno the other day in Cincinnati. I'm like, techno? And he goes, yeah, boom, boom, boom. And, all right, here you go.
Just put some techno on.
I love
Scott would
techno.
love that.
Scotty loves
I
EDM.
do love me some techno, and so does Miami, in fairness. That is kind of the
Well,
sound
yeah,
of the
that's-
city.
Hey, Miami or Cincinnati does have like the techno lights now. They changed the lockers and they have like different colored lights over the lockers. They change them for the team. Remember they used to have the old metal crotchety lockers?
The minor league lockers.
Oh, they were so brutal. Now they got like nice half wood ones.
All-Star game came in. They switched it up.
Oh, by the way, when you see John Jay on Thursday or Friday, tell him to never, ever send me another picture of him working out. Okay? He sent me a picture from Cincinnati the other day flexing in the mirror like
He
this.
probably did one set and sent you a picture.
Yeah.
He got one little pump in, and it was him.
Literally, he sent me a picture like this in the mirror. I'm like, what are you doing? Shouldn't you be getting ready for a game?
Finding tendencies.
Every time I go in there, he's always listening to some Jay-Z radio, and I'm like, John, this your music? He goes, yeah. I'm like, all right, I'm going to change it.
So you're the radio changer guy.
I mean, if I'm getting to the field, I usually get there first, and I want to work out so no one else is around me. And if it's John Jay's music, I'm changing it just to give him crap.
So what kind of music do you go to? What's your go-to?
Just country.
Just country. Does that make for a good walkout? Because we've been talking about walkout music. Does a country song make for a good walkout for the fans? There might be like an Eric Church or like a, something that gets you pumped, but does it make it good for the experience of like the lights flickering and all that stuff?
Yeah, if it's I'm trying to think of a good country song, but like Jesus Luzardo had Country Roads.
Okay.
As a starter, that's kind of electric because you get the whole song. But as a reliever, closer, you got to pick something that has a good guitar in it.
Okay. So what's yours?
I go with Mother by Danzig. I just like the guitar in it. One of our trainers showed me it, and I was like, I'm going to roll with it.
Have they been amping up the whole experience with relievers coming out of the bullpen in Miami? Have they caught on to that yet?
Turning off the lights and everything?
Yeah, because they don't show it. I haven't been to a game this year. They don't show it on TV. Some places are really dressing it up now. Have they gotten to that level yet or no?
I'm going to be honest. I don't even pay attention to it.
That was gonna be my question. Because I used to.
Well, if you're not noticing, they're probably not
sometimes if the lights go out, I'm like, oh, they turned off the lights today. Cool. But there might be a day when did they turn off the lights? And I honestly don't know. I kind of just lose it.
I wanted to go back to Arise for a moment. Why is he one of the craziest teammates? And how would you get him out now that he's on the opposition?
Why is he one of the craziest dudes? He's a firecracker. Like in everything. He's always full of energy. He always has a smile on his face. And to get him out, I'm just throwing it in the zone. I'm just going to probably let him hit it. Hopefully he hits it to someone.
Right. Okay.
So there's no.
I'm not going for a strikeout.
I'm
wasting pitches. No, I'm wasting pitches.
So
that could be a 3-pitch at bat or it could be a 20-pitch at bat. I'm not doing 20.
So successful at bat against Arise for you is action happens in 3 pitches or less.
But knowing Arise, I'd probably throw it up and in on him just to mess with him.
And would he back off? Would he back off the plate?
Yeah, he'd probably foul it off.
Okay. I was going to say probably double down the line.
Oh, no. That would be bad.
That would be bad.
That would hurt. That would hurt a little bit. You're like, I just threw my best fastball up and in, and he shanked it down the left field line for a double. He'd be like,
I would look at him in second base and be like, why? Why are you hitting that? Why? You're not supposed to hit that.
Would he say something after he hits it, running down the line? Like, hey, Tanner, I got you, Bobby. And then he's running.
Yeah, he'd be laughing. He'd be laughing at me the whole time. Like I saw him this morning, he was just laughing at me. I'm like, what's so funny?
Didn't even do anything.
I'm still bald, Louis. I'm still bald, yes.
Does he say that? Does it?
Yeah.
Because some Latin guys love to be like, you get on them, and then it'll be like, hey, bald, or cowbo.
Yep.
And you're like, that's it? Like, I can't do anything about that.
Can't change my hairstyle, sorry.
Kratz knows all about that.
I know all about it.
That's why I do have a legitimate baseball question. I've never asked the closer this. Now that you're the closer, we got kind of 2 of you. I mean, one,
kind of
closer for a while. He's a closer for a while.
He's done it.
What's the difference? And I never understood save situation versus non-save situation. Because most closers come in and they're really good. 1-run lead, they're blowing fire out of their nose. Let's go. You come in with a 4-run lead, and you're like, okay, I'll give up 3 and I'll get the 3rd out. Why? Why does it change?
I mean, it's a save opportunity. I don't know. It's like, I got a bigger lead. Maybe let's see what the first guy does. But I don't want to get in that trouble, so I come out. I'm just angry. I'm angry anytime.
He wanted to say, that's not my mentality, but he didn't know how to say it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not my mentality.
Okay, that's what.
But every closer says that. I mean, Bobby Jenks, who was like the meanest dude. He's puking in his shirt before he pitches.
We did.
And then he'd come out in a 1-run lead. He'd punch 3 tickets. He'd be like, save. 4-run lead. He'd give up 2 or 3, and there's base loaded. And then he punches out this. And you're like, wait, why did he just punch out the 3 and get it out of him?
I just go with a ton of red hot. And I'm already angry because I'm sweating so bad. I'm just like, all right, I got to go in. Let's make it quick.
Do you go red hot only on your arm?
Yeah, where else would you go?
So you don't use hot sauce anywhere on your arm or anything?
I'll go red hot from about here up.
Oh, but you're not like a.
You've never
I
done.
need to fire myself up.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You're never.
I don't need that.
The old Roger Clemens.
You just haven't tried it yet.
He denied that.
I don't want to try it.
Okay. I'm just saying, when fast twitch and Gatorade,
hopefully something else comes out.
Gets lowered, try 1 red hot. 1 red hot on an area where you would think that's not where I want red hot.
You know what we're.
I'm not
what we're talking about.
I'm not giving weird ideas.
You got to try everything once.
The funny thing is, I always walk in the training room. I'm like, hey, does anyone want to do it today? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay. Someday, $500 do it? No. I'm like, come on, it's never coming off. Like,
it's coming off.
No, what are you taking it off with?
Milk. Watch the show. I'll tell the story.
You're just gonna sit in milk,
Cottage cheese.
Milk, cottage cheese. I'm telling you,
I know the secret. So
I've done it for milk. I've done it for somebody for milk. Let's put it this way: it was rubbed on their back, and then it started to migrate south.
I have a friend, I'm not going to say his name, was cooking and grabbed a hot pepper and then touched somewhere where you're not supposed to touch. And he had to get the cottage cheese out of the fridge. And then his wife walked out and he had the cottage cheese on the bad region. And she is, what are you doing? And he's like, I had pepper on my pepper.
And that's how we're going to end our conversation.
Pepper on my
Tanner
pepper.
Scott.
Pepper on my
Welcome
pepper.
to Texas. Tanner, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate the
Thanks,
time,
guys.
dude. Have a blast out here.
Thank
And
you.
thanks
Wait,
for
you
stopping
know when you're
by.
pitching? They don't tell you? They haven't
They'll
told you
tell
yet?
them tomorrow.
I'm just here for the
All
ride.
right, all right, one-run
Well, I guess
lead.
the phone's just going to ring this time.
Yeah.
I'll have Red Hot on, so I'll be ready.
But the whole game, he's going to be there. Phone ring.
Ninth
yet.
inning, you guys have a one-run lead. Who's closing it?
want
Helsley,
it.
maybe. He's got like 30.
Okay.
I feel like
It probably depends on the matchups, right?
I feel
You
like
need to go to Tori and say, Tori, I'm the closer.
Yeah.
I'm the closer. I'm closing this game out. We have a lead.
You should tell Helsley, hey, don't dig too big of a hole before you pitch before me, because I don't like throwing out of a hole, and that would assert your dominance in the situation because it's a bunch of
No.
alpha males.
No, I can't do that.
And
I'm
you
too
won't.
nice.
He
I'm too
wouldn't
nice.
even know what to do.
I'm too nice. I'm too
Helsley
nice.
would take it. He would think it's funny.
If they
Too
want a
nice.
lefty, they'll go Tanner. How's that? Deal?
What's he going? Is he a loogie? You're on left on left?
No, if he just feels
No,
like,
he's just
hey, I
coming
want to go
That's
crush a
2024,
left-handed batter, then
Yeah.
you've got ridiculous options. All right. Awesome having you, Tanner. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be right back on FT. well, now back on, but you got to come on
chair.
sometime. You got to come on sometime.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, you get these old retired guys that are scared to talk on TV. They talk trash behind the camera.
Anyway, hey everyone, Scotty Braun, Erik Kratz, Trevor May, AJ Pierzynski, and we are going to charge the mound a little bit late since we had some All-Star friends stopping by.
Only left-handed pitchers.
Why is that?
That's all we've had.
That's what I mean. Why?
They don't have to take out time.
Lefties are just different. They show up.
They don't have friends. Is that what you're saying, Scott?
Sometimes
so
they can be loners, if that's what you're saying. But they like to do shows. They're nice people. All right, so let's charge the mound, and let's cover the Yankees-Orioles series from the weekend for a moment. So on Friday, there was a little huffing and puffing going on. Your thoughts? And then, of course, Yankees win Saturday. More of a basic game. Soto, Judge, Homer, whatever. And then Sunday's ninth inning was a freaking roller coaster. Kimbrel gives up the homer to Ben Rice. They take the lead. Volpe boots a baseball. Cedric Mullins walk-off double. So sum it up for us.
That is the new rivalry right now.
Rivalry.
That is the rivalry right now. And that if the players on both teams would say anything different, to me they'd be lying. Before it was the Rays and the Yankees, because it was like, how do we get past the Rays and the Yankees? We just glossed over the fact that the Yankees just played the Red Sox. That's supposed to be the rivalry. This is the rivalry. And there's hit by pitches, which I think are blown up sometimes too much. Like they have a whole compilation of who's hit who. This is a team that you're already escalated, and then you're losing. At that point, they had lost 3 in a row, the Orioles had. And so they're in the ninth inning. No way is anybody trying to hit anybody in the head. We don't play in that era anymore. You can attest to that, Trevor. Like, we don't take greenies, so people don't just get super pissed. It was a pitch that got away, and it hit him in an area where you have to stand up for your players.
Yeah.
And I loved everything that happened there. I love that Clay Holmes was trying to pitch in 0-2 because they're hanging out over the plate trying to get his sinker. I love that Brandon Hyde yelled at him and said, F you. And I love that Freddie Gonzalez had an aortic infarction and was not standing down and was just hot in that. Whatever it was, you're the bench coach. The bench coach is kind of like the backup catcher. If you're not doing something, you don't care. And to me, he was out there. Freddie has been a manager. He knows his role. And to me, the Orioles are not going to back down from a team that everybody thinks, it's the Yankees. No, they've asserted their dominance in the AL East here. Hey, mate.
You want me to force my way onto your show?
Come on in.
I didn't say I wanted you to come on the show.
Hey, Marlins here.
Wait, we're live right now, baby.
Yeah, don't worry about the cameras either.
What's up?
Hey,
you coming on?
I mean,
you coming?
Are you
no,
getting
the best
good.
part about doing
Come
shows
on
like
in.
this, guys.
Pick
You got
up
a
on.
dub. You're blocking the network that I saw you on.
That's right.
Let's transition though. Let's talk Derby because we didn't really get much time to talk about it.
Peter gave up a lot of homers.
Peter gave up. Your fault. He said your fault.
only
Or
for
actually-
like half a year.
Or actually, he said your fault.
That's dude.
Nice.
You
Yeah.
play with some
That
Aussies.
was
I
good.
play with some Aussies.
You play with some
Roommates.
Aussies.
I play with everybody.
There's only one question. By the way, Peter Moylan.
Peter Moylan here. Thank you.
If you can't tell by his shirt, his name is Peter
Or
Moore.
his accent.
That's right.
Or the
There's
tats.
only one thing that Peter Moylan needs to talk about, and one story Peter Moylan needs to tell. And he knows what I'm going to say. When you were at the Twins, tell the story.
Which part?
You know which. You
No,
know
there's
which
a lot
story.
of different stories about when I
You
was
know
with the
the
Twins.
one when you were in the clink clank, and our hitting coach and our hitting coordinator was in there with you.
There was. It's out there now, so yeah, sure. Okay, there was one night, spring break. I'm 17, and I'm an Australian. Wearing a similar shirt to this, because I'll show you my mugshot later. But I was in an altercation at the beach during spring break, like you do, and I was taken to the holding cells and
our hitting instructor was in the same cell.
From a different incident.
Yes. From a different incident.
You guys met there.
We didn't meet. He was asleep, but I was definitely in there, and we were in the same place.
Lonnie Kai?
Did you guys look?
Radisson.
Radisson. Right there, right next to it. Lonnie Kai.
Yeah.
Did you look at each other and go, small world, huh?
I can go into the impossible sit-up, too. That was a good way to start my minor league career.
Who did that?
I fell for the impossible sit-up.
Who got you that?
I can't remember who it was.
LaTroy Hawkins is here. He got
may
some
have
guys
been him
with
or
that.
Darren Fidge.
Oh, Fidge, yeah. Oh, another Aussie.
Oh, my God.
If you don't know what the impossible sit-up is, look it up online.
Yeah, Google it. We don't have time to explain it, but
that was my first impression in minor league baseball. I walked in, fell for the impossible sit-up, and then had 2.5 years of trying to make up for it, honestly.
Well, I'm gonna go right to it because playing with different Australian guys, you guys are dirty. You guys you guys are extremely green to coming to the United States.
Yeah.
Glenn Williams is how much older than you?
Just a couple years.
So Glenn Williams kind of paved the way for you guys.
Yeah.
When I say you guys, I'm saying Australians, not weird pitchers.
Yep.
I'm saying that then there was other guys. There was guys that didn't make it. Now you look at the number one pick
Crazy.
in the country.
Yeah.
Number 1. Did you think when you saw Glenn Williams, who was your senior by a few years, and then you came over, you'd ever get to the point where a Aussie, a mate, would be 1-1?
Not ever would I ever think that was going. We had Bogut in the NBA, obviously, but for us, it's so tough to come over here, and we're the best of the best in Australia. And then we arrive here, and
you consider yourself the best.
I
of the
was
best.
as good as it gets in 1996.
It's clearly
when I
gotten
signed
better.
the first time.
It's clearly gotten better.
I was throwing, obviously.
Wait, Jared Mangione?
What's that? Jared
Mangione he signed in 2000, so he's younger than you. Never mind. Go ahead.
So you come over here and it's you're living away from home. You're in a different country. You speak the same language, but you're very different. And you go from being one of the best in your country to just one of 150 at that time, and it's a shock. So I went from thinking I was going to have a big league career to realizing that I'm up against it and I'm going to have some fun, and that was the reason why it probably didn't work out the first time. But now that they're so used to it, they've seen so many of us come over and have some success. More guys know what they're in for. Kids come over and play college now. So there's a ton more access for our country to come over and get used to it before.
Now, people that don't know your story, you came over, and then pitched for the Twins, and then explain what happened after that.
I got released in 1999. Went home, just worked a ton of jobs: pool plumber, concreter, upholstery fabric salesman, pharmaceutical salesman. You name it, I did it. And then I was actually a pharmaceutical salesman when I pitched in the first WBC for Australia against Venezuela. Blew up the radar gun, was all over the place, punched out 4, walked 5, but did enough to get the attention of the Braves. Well, I was in Orlando. They said, hey, we'd love you to give this a chance. And 2 weeks later, I was in the big leagues after starting in AAA.
Yeah. Pharmaceutical sales, and his velocity went up?
Crazy, right? Yeah. Gotta know some people.
I'm putting
Did you say that was
Yeah, exactly.
That's
It's in the coffee.
awesome.
Who you signed with originally? I remember I played with a bunch. Darren Fidge, you mentioned.
Yep.
Millwood. There was a guy named
Yep.
Millwood.
Yep.
I watched throw a guy through a wall.
Brad Thomas, Grant Balfour.
Yes. Balfour, Thomas. Yeah.
Michael Nakamura was even there back in the day.
Yes, I played with him too. You know the Brad Thomas, Michael Kadire story, right?
No.
So Michael Kadire in the playoffs in 2001 hit a home run, and they had to play an extra game. Brad Thomas was on one of the planes that ended up. So he was scheduled to be on one of the planes, but I think Michael Kadire hit a walk-off homer to make him go an extra game, and so Brad Thomas missed that flight to play because he was going to be on maybe the one to L.A., I think. New York to L.A.
That's wild. That's wild. There's a lot of those stories throughout minor league baseball because the minor league season would end right around September 11th.
Yeah.
True. That's true.
That's wild. Australian players that I played with, names that I come up with, like they were high school kids. I said Jared Mangione.
Yeah.
You might not know
How
John
old are you?
Chappell. I'm 44.
Okay. Chappell's old man was a cricket player.
Chappell's old man was a cricket player, like one of the best, like Babe Ruth of cricket.
Yeah.
And so to see these guys make the transition, and you kind of hit on it there, What can Major League Baseball do to help Australians make that transition more?
I think, honestly, the only thing we're lacking is the ability to see as good a live pitching as you guys get exposed to on a regular basis over here. We just don't have the arms built up at an early age like you guys do here. We don't get used to velocity. And once we do get used to it, either the tournament's over or the season's over, and then we have to go back to the Australian Baseball League. One of the things that started to happen is that teams in the ABL have gotten stronger. The pitching's getting better, and you can see by the results of the Australian national team that that's showing up in our playing performances on the international stage now. So we just need to play more games. It's as simple as that. You guys are leading the way as far as obviously the amount of games are played, whether it be high school, college, even in the junior ranks as well. We just need to find that perfect balance of not doing too much, but finding enough to get more exposure.
So do you feel like there's a benefit to coming over at 16 to get that experience? Or because you just mentioned it's also a different world too.
Me, absolutely not. I didn't mature until I was probably 39. So the issue is going to be, I'm 44 now, 45 now. So
Oi.
I couldn't have come over here as a 17-year-old had success, and that was evident. But I think if you are mature enough, like a Travis Bazana, had he gone into the system at 17, he maybe had some success. But I had no chance. I needed to have that second chance. I needed to come and learn, make mistakes. And I'm not a guy that can be told, hey, don't do this. I had to do it and then figure out, hey, I shouldn't have done that.
Let me just get one MLB take from you. What's a trade that you think needs to happen, or a team that you'd really like to see buy, sell? Like, give me your hottest take of the season so far.
I don't know. I just think there's too many guys that are going to hold on. I want it to be crazy. I want there to be like a Teixeira-style trade where someone gives away the farm to get just a couple of guys for a rental. Scherzer, Turner, that kind of deal. I want something that's exciting to turn around a team season who maybe, like a Royals. If a Royals went nuts and went to try get a couple of big players maybe at the end of their contract, crazy. But I just don't see it happening.
What do the Braves? What do the Braves have to do?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I work for them, but they are pretty solid. Like I'm saying, do you go get maybe a shortstop to replace Orlando, who's done a great job to this point, but a punchier shortstop and Orlando moves to the bench? Or do you go get an outfielder that you might need? The bullpen seems okay right now, but one injury and all of a sudden you need someone in the bullpen. So do you add just in case? And like I said, there's way too many teams that are still in it for me to think that it's going to be as crazy as I'd like it to be.
Outfielders for Atlanta for sure.
Atlanta's going to add something. I just don't know what it's going to be. Alex, I had no clue that they were going to go out and get the 4 guys that they got at the trade deadline the year they won it. That just happened, and we were like, oh, okay. Now our season's going to turn around. So it can be crazy like that too.
If I'm a Braves fan, I want Taylor Ward and Tommy Pham.
Everybody wants Tommy Pham.
For the
Tommy
Braves,
Pham's going to be hot.
Yeah.
I think Pilar's going back.
Ooh,
I think it's going to be
how about all 3? They did 4 in 2021.
Going back.
Yeah, but the problem is they have Kelnick, who needs to play.
Kelnick's going to
They
play.
have Michael Harris coming
He's
back.
coming back.
Yeah.
Duvall, he's kind of struggled this year, though. He hasn't been the same
Right.
Adam Duvall.
But
Chavez is in the pen right now, right?
Travis.
Jesse Chavez.
Javi's still there, yeah.
Then you're good. You're
Exactly
fine.
right. We're going to be just fine
You're
as soon as
fine, yeah.
Jesse's
By the way,
there.
he probably should have made the All-Star team.
Peter tried to push him to make the All-Star team.
Okay,
He doesn't
but
have
can I
enough
make
pull.
my case as to why? I wasn't saying, hey, the numbers deserve it. I'm just saying we make a lot of allowances for the young superstars to get an early chance at an All-Star. Why not do the same thing for a guy that's 104?
And I was going to say, I completely agree with you.
Right.
Like, we're talking about getting guys in that have 60, 80 at-bats. We have this argument all the time. To me, if you highlight what Jesse Chavez has done in his career, where he's come from, there's more people that connect to his story than connect to Ellie De La Cruz's story. He's super highlight. I'm saying that
That's a
because
bad
I'm trolling on Scott from last year talking about it. But Jesse Chavez, from where he came, people can be like, I have hope. I can do that if I do this. If I wear weird glasses every time I pitch.
I never develop my calves.
Yeah, if I never, if I never do exercise, I can do this too.
Correct.
And to me, it's a connection that I feel like we missed not having him on
I
here
agree.
because he's had a great year.
Yeah, you know my case. I agree totally. Yep.
Well, Peter, it was awesome having you.
Guys,
Thank
thanks
you
for
for the
having me.
time.
It's my first All-Star game, guys. I'm so proud. Thanks for having me.
Well, everyone here is here for you.
Yeah, thanks.
So cheers to you.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Thank you, Peter.
Thanks for
Peter
having me
Moylan
again.
with us
Oh,
on
that's fine.
FT.
You're connected. You're connected, Mike.
We're still on, people. What's going on? All right, let's talk about Babbel for a moment here. Amidst
I need
the
Babbel for
chaos.
Australia.
You joke, but look,
It is.
they have
No way.
they have some fun articles
no,
and
it's
stuff.
like, yeah.
And there's some fun Babbel content for how to speak Australian. 1 in 5 Americans have learned a new language on their bucket list, and Erik Kratz was so excited to try and display his Japanese to Shota Imanaga, and you got the boot. You were kind of the last man.
I got the boot. It was my opportunity to actually use my Japanese that I've been practicing, and I didn't get it. I think it's probably a content miss, but nobody's scrolling on to be like, oh, Shota? I wonder if Erik is on. No, they're like, I want to know what the fellow pitcher said. I want to know what the fringe Hall of Fame catcher said. So, hey, you get the boot. When you get the boot, you get the boot.
If you speak it fluently by next year, you'll
I'm
make
definitely
the
in.
set.
Because then we don't need his interpreter.
Exactly.
You're the
That is why Erik didn't
I'm the
make the cut.
interpreter.
We have 5 seats.
That
on
would
the
be
desk,
that would
or
be
on
an
the-
absolute flex if I learned it fluently. But one app can do it for me. It's already I am on like the basic level of learning it.
Yeah, I mean, I know obviously you can do 10 minutes a day on Babbel. If you're trying to get fluent in Japanese by next year, you might have to spend more like 15, 20 a day.
Might have to do more than 10
Yeah.
minutes.
In
It's definitely
fairness.
15 minutes a day.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
15. Maybe
Because
Yeah.
but they set that out on the app. They set that out. They test your level, and like I have a tough time with the U and and E noises. Not even just like getting to the letters and the symbols, but then they put you at the basic, and then they say how much time do you have per day, and when do you want to learn it by. So if I put it 1 year in Atlanta, fluent, they would get me there.
That's the speech recognition technology. So the deal for FT listeners and watchers, there it is. Up to 60% off your Babbel subscription. Only for FT fam. Babbel.com/foul, F-O-U-L. Up to 60% off at Babbel.com/FOUL. Rules and restrictions may apply. With Babbel, you can learn everything you need to have real-world conversations, from vocab words to culture, and all it takes is just 10 minutes a day, maybe 20 for Kratz. Be right back.
He's not playing at all. I saw the video.
Hey,
I was
we're on
like,
TV. We're still on TV. It's hot corner time. Let's sizzle. You can mention this, though. This is a big day for the FT fam. I think it's worth saying this. This is part of Hot Corner. What's going on today?
it's a big matchup. It's the Pierzynski. It's the second time Pierzynski, and probably the last time Pierzynski and Kratz are playing against each other. But Austin opted out for load management. It's a
NIL.
travel ball game.
Mm.
Five-star Mafia National Northeast versus Power Marucci Blue Jays, Florida Central Northeastern University.
No.
It's 2-0 game right now in the 4th inning.
Who's winning?
We are.
You guys are winning?
Well, we are.
They have
Power.
Power has a much higher ranking for correct purposes. But Austin, like I said, opted out. Hopefully our wives can connect and get a picture.
Mine left.
Oh, yours left because that's very. Hey, she's
His
a vet.
wife also opted out.
Yes, she also opted out today.
You don't want to stay. You don't want to stay and watch a game in Florida at 95 degrees
No.
at the Cloverleaf at a minor league complex
Outside.
Yeah.
outside.
When you have no rooting interest in it.
Yeah, no.
It's time to go. It's time to go back, and especially when the kids are 16, 17 years old. They can drive themselves home. it's okay to get a ride. But they're down in Fort Myers. It's cool. It's a cool opportunity. It's the second time. Braden, my son, actually got his son to pop out back 2 years ago in their last game that they played against each other. My son doesn't even pitch, so there's that.
Woo. Well, hopefully you get a rematch at the college level at some point.
Hopefully not. Hopefully my son doesn't have to pitch.
For fans that are here in Arlington, Texas, excited for the Derby and the All-Star game, good news. You're going to be covered, okay? This is not an outdoor affair. Let's go over the Derby odds for a moment. I know we laid out our locks, and you can backtrack if you're watching the show, say on the Bally Sports app or on YouTube. You can backtrack to see what our picks were. But just any other thoughts here, because we didn't all make our actual pick for who's going to win. Trevor did. Pap did. Pap's got the super long shot. Alec Boehm, he knows something we don't know. But who do you think's going to win? Who do you guys think's going to win the Derby? This is your lock separate, but who do you think's going to win?
It's a different setup, and so I think chalk is Pete Alonso. So I'm going away from chalk, and I feel like something about Teoscar Hernandez can get hot. I feel like he's either going to hit 3 or 103. So Teoscar is my guy, and I love plus 1,200.
AJ?
I'm going Pete. Listen, he's from Florida. He's used to the heat. He lives for this moment. He hasn't won in a couple years. It's Pete.
But he doesn't have Bobby. He doesn't have Billy Joust.
I'm sure he can find somebody that can throw it over the plate.
I don't know. That kind of hamstrung him the other year. That dude was throwing him like nasty sliders.
Yep. Pete will be fine. I believe in you, Pete.
You guys don't think Gunnar has a chance? I feel like he hasn't gotten
he
talked
definitely
about
has a
a lot.
chance.
I feel like he's going to be like, yo, I don't know if
Everybody
anyone
has
missed
a
this,
chance if
but
they're in it.
I know, but I feel like
Maybe not Alec Boehm because Pat picked him.
Because Pat picked him.
It's not really his game, to be fair. It's part of his game, but it's not all of his game. You know what I'm saying?
It's a good line drive swing. His BP can get nice.
Okay.
Boehmer's BP can get nice.
Homer just doesn't try to as much other guys, I think.
Right.
That's why he's leading
doubles competition. I'd probably take Boehm.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I hit that wall every time.
Hitting gaps.
If you set the jugs machine to breaking ball, he's hitting right center gap for days, and that's
4 into the left field corner, just all day.
Yep. Okay, so we'll see. We'll step aside. We are going to talk to Richard Grisham and JayFish for a little chat with a friend that we usually talk to remotely, but now we get to see in person. A little MLB 9 Innings 24 team joining us. We'll get their home run derby picks too. Coming up next on FT. Hey, the MLB 9 Innings 24 fam is here. We have JayFish and Richard Grisham joining us right now. Great to see you both in person. How are you? We talk a lot remotely.
I'm about to say doing good. Glad to be here in Texas first time, so I'm just taking everything in.
It's great to be at All-Star. It's the best time of the year every year. I love it. It's a unique event, and it's awesome to be here.
And it's great to be here, too, at MLB Players House. They're doing a great job hosting us. Obviously, a lot of VIPs rolling through. Even some players we're catching. We've got a lot of great players on here. We were just talking Derby. Can we get Derby picks from both of you and what you're expecting tonight?
I'm going Garcia. I know we got Teoscar Hernandez in there. I'm a Dodger fan as well. But I like the hometown guys. Last year with J-Rod, when he broke that record round with the home runs, the energy was just different. So I'm rooting for Garcia. I want to see that energy here in Ranger Stadium.
I'm all in on my guy, Pete Alonso. I'm a Mets fan. I'm hanging my hopes on him. He should have gotten a three-peat a couple of years back, but that happened.
Well, one of the things.
I picked Pete.
Yeah, you picked Pete.
Second for me is Adolis because Adidas has hooked us up with all kinds of Adolis stuff. So it's kind of like, all right, now I got to root for him, right? And he's a hometown guy. So, but Pete.
Also, they switched the format, so I do think things will play out a little bit differently. The first round especially is going to look very different. I mean, we've had some epic first rounds in the past, but Trevor, then they kind of either be tired or I don't know what would happen, but you would see 30, 40 homers from dudes in the first round, and then you're like, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, you do get tired. They're not used to swinging that much. As a competition, it's been really exciting for the first round, and then it's kind of dwindles as it goes. I was out there in the center field bar last year for it, and it was like half empty by the time we were at the now that was probably because Julio wasn't in it, but there's just less homers at the end. I like that having to pay. You got to be super efficient with your swings. I think that's like a new interesting way to approach it, at least for the first round, and then we get to see the four best guys, and then they go head to head. I like that a lot better. I think this is going to be a better product.
Right. You'll actually get the top four advancing this time around.
Yeah, because Adley last year, he had that great first round, but I can't remember who he went against, but he didn't make it in, but he would have been one of the top four guys had he not played whoever he played in the first.
Luis Robert Jr.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right, so on that front, we also have tweaks, of course, as always, MLB 9 Innings 24. JayFish, our aficionado. Explain it the way you always do so well. What do we have?
I'm going to say we got lots of All-Star Game content. We got plenty of events going on for people to be able to get new cards, new items and stuff. And really the three best times to start playing the game. Opening day, All-Star, Postseason World Series. That's when they have the most events, and that's, I'd say, the best times to really start playing the game and really get a jump start or catch up if you're behind.
Okay, why do you say that? Why do you think this is the time? You can kind of refresh halfway through?
I'm going to say lots of hype around the game are those 3 points, I would say, because that's where you see the most hype. I feel like opening day, All-Star, Postseason World Series. And like I said, we have more events going on now than really any other time during the season or the year. A lot of the times in between, it gets a little dry sometimes with events just because there's not a lot going on. But there's 2 or 3 separate All-Star events going on where they can collect lots of items and stuff that you normally wouldn't be able to.
So you're one of the front people, one of the front men. Behind the scenes, Richard is cranking. We don't get to, talk to someone that really knows what's going on to put this all together and also deal with all of the updates and how the cards are changing. So can you give us a little behind-the-scenes view of what's been going down this season?
So there's a lot of people working really hard all the time because, just like you guys, right? You got to get up every day. You do the show. You talk about what's happening, what's relevant. Baseball fans want to have what's relevant today in their game today, right? So when rookies are cranking 450-foot home runs, they want those guys in the game. When Paul Skeens steps on the mound and is blowing 102-mile-an-hour pitchers by batters, players want those experiences right here. So we have got people that work 24/7 making sure that we can deliver the most interesting cards, the most interesting events across all the games. And it is really hard and really exciting and really challenging. And our fans are great at telling us what they love and what they want to see that they don't see yet.
Yeah, we get that too. I mean, live during the show. They'll be like, hey, you missed this, or
Yes.
you didn't talk about
There's
this.
a lot of similarities to what we do.
Right. When you get the live reaction and really just social media, obviously interaction from fans or video game influencers, like the guy in the middle here.
Yes.
He will tell it like it is.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll let you know. Video game culture is definitely, they like their game, they like it for certain reasons, and you're going to hear it if they don't like the things that you're doing. I can only imagine the difficulty that comes along with that and trying to please everybody.
Well, the thing that I've discovered in this business over the last 10 years or so is that video game players are like the smartest consumers there are, right? They know what works. They know what they like. They know what they want. And they are really savvy. If you deliver a really great experience to them, they will spend their time. They will spend their money. They will get their friends into it. And if you deliver it, they will reward you for it. And if you don't, they'll also reward you by, letting you know you got to improve or do something different.
Yeah, which is important. We get the same thing going here too. So what's the best experience you've had so far this year playing MLB 9 Innings 24?
Playing MLB 9 Innings. Probably pulling the new Joe Morgan Supreme card. He's one of the best players all around, 77 base, really high. And I'm also a Reds fan. It's my native hometown. And him being a Reds Supreme player, I got him on my deck, and he's...
You said you were a Dodgers fan.
I'm going to say I'm a Reds and a Dodgers fan.
You can't be a Reds and a Dodgers fan.
I am. I was waiting for that to come out,
being a Giant and a A's there.
Like peanut butter and jelly, guys. Reds
I'm going to say it goes together perfect.
Yeah.
I'm say.
Well, which one's number one?
Which one's number one?
Which team is number one for you?
He's going to say Dodgers because they're good.
I'll probably say the Reds because of hometown.
Yeah, that's the nostalgia factor.
I was a big Matt Kemp fan when I was younger, growing up. That's where I really.
That's how you got
Manny
the Dodgers.
Ramirez and Matt Kemp. Those were my two guys growing up. So that's where the Dodgers came from. To elaborate on that for you, AJ. That's how those two mesh together, even though they don't mesh together that well.
Does the younger crowd appreciate the legends, the older players?
I feel like they do. Yeah.
I feel like sometimes the younger crowd gets a bad rep about that, where they're like, "Oh, they don't care about the older players." I'm like, well, they do if they can use the card.
Exactly. No, they like them. Now, do they know all of them? Maybe not. But, I mean, that's the thing with those historic players. They're big-name guys that most people are going to know if you just follow the sport whatsoever. So.
But I'm glad you mentioned that because that's another thing that I've discovered. Like, a lot of fans discover a lot about baseball history through our games. They experience it in a way like you might read a name like Christy Mathewson. But when Christy Mathewson is actually pitching for your team, it completely changes your perspective. So we've seen a lot of people sort of discover a lot of the history of baseball. And one of our biggest positive reactions we got was when we brought Ken Griffey Jr. into the fold last year, right? So he's a legend. Now, some of my age, the legends of the game were from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. But to the kids today, like Ken Griffey Jr. is like almost like my Willie Mays. You know what I mean? So we've also seen the generations really enjoy the players from across the history of the game in a way that really a video game like ours is kind of the only way that you could experience different legends from different eras like that.
You brought up Ken Griffey Jr. That's my favorite player of all time right there. So, and I'm still on the hunt to try and get that card. That thing is not easy to get. Yeah.
And being able to spend a little time with him this year also was incredible, right? Just it's one thing to sign somebody to a deal, but it's another thing to spend time with them and to get to know them a little bit. And Ken Griffey Jr. and his family and his people are just amazing to work with. Amazing.
All right, I have a great idea for you guys.
Let's hear it.
Ken Griffey Jr. is no AJ Pierzynski, but I would love to have a card. I mean, we need a special foul territory AJ Pierzynski card. That's like harder to find than Ken Griffey.
Well, you've got cards in the game.
Do I? Because last year
you're AJ Pierzynski.
I know, but last year my son played against another high school, and they were yelling at me that I don't even have a card. So,
okay, well, look,
from MLB 9 Innings. 24?
I don't know what they were, but
this time last year, I don't think you were in the game. I
think
after we came on, they were like, we got to get AJ in there.
See?
Oh, so there you go.
See?
There you go. See, FT is
they were
moving
yelling
up
at me
in the
from the
world.
dugout. You don't even have a real card. And I'm like, what are they talking about? My son's like, they mean on the video games, Dad, you don't have a card. And I'm like, what?
No, you guys are both in our games. And there's different versions
He's in your
of
game?
you. No,
I'm the filler card in every pack.
You're the comment. You're the comment card.
Yeah, I'm the comment
We're
card.
on deck.
Yeah,
special
we're on
feature
deck.
cards.
We'll broadcast. We'll call some games at some
If
point.
Kratz gets a card, you've gone too far. Okay.
Understood.
Kratz is next, actually. Well, it's awesome to have you. Let's show everyone, as you can see below, the QR code, but also it is a free game to download, as we always tell you here on FT. You can scan that QR code, download MLB 9 Innings 24, get the best baseball game in the palm of your hands, all the latest from the 2024 season. Yes.
Did Griffey really hit home runs?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm
You
just
did.
making sure.
AJ's on him.
I'm
His neighbor.
making sure JayFish wasn't out there like throwing the ball. Griffey swings and misses, and you guys are chucking the ball off the scoreboard for him.
No, they were having a good time. They were having a good time hitting them and yapping at each other a little bit. That was the whole scene.
I love that. And we caught a lot of that. We're about to show it. JayFish and Richard, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
Thanks for
guys.
having us.
Great to
Appreciate
see
it.
you. We'll hang
Pleasure.
right after the show. And let's give you a little sneak peek. Well, if you don't have it, you need to get it. MLB 9 Innings 24. The commercial's amazing. Check it out.
Dang, that swing is almost as good as mine.
Yeah, see what you got. Not bad for only one MVP.
That's cute. Call me when you get to 6:30. Still got it.
Whatever.
About 10 minutes to go. It's FT, Scotty Braun, AJ Pierzynski, Trevor May, and Erik Kratz. First of all, I want to remind everyone, tomorrow we are on at a different time. Local time, 3:30 to 5:30. We're Central Time here in Arlington, Texas. 4:30 to 6:30 Eastern Time. I know the show's usually 1 to 3. Boom, there you go. FT on the YouTube channel, on Bally Sports, on the app, on Marquee. And also, before that, on the Baseball America YouTube channel, you can check out a special show from here with JJ Cooper and Carlos Collazo from BA. I'll host that with them. The show is called Hot Sheet, so we have a lot of shows and programming for you tomorrow. I think Tyler Glasnow is supposed to join us tomorrow, part of the guest list. I think Ken Rosenthal will be on with us. I'm pretty sure John Smoltz is going to swing by, so we'll have a good time.
Pre-game.
Pre-game. We're pre-gaming.
Pre-game party.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get in the weeds with the other side of the home run derby, which is no love for the pitchers. And Trevor is here to represent the pitchers because you threw an idea out to the world about a week ago on how you can get pitchers more involved in the All-Star game. Good luck selling this to the teams who think that every time the arm moves from their pitcher, it's going to break. But what's your idea?
Okay, so first things first, you got to understand that we're going to be playing catch. We're not throwing bullpens. We're not going on the velo gun, seeing who can throw the hardest. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I had two ideas. The first one was like a horse situation. So last year I talked to a bunch of guys at the All-Star game and asked them, would you rather paint and freeze the guy for strike three, or would you rather blow it by him? And all four guys said paint, which blew my mind because I don't think I've ever thrown a pitch on the black in my career. So I was just like, oh, no, swing and miss. And then it was like George Kirby and Gallen, and like, I want to see these guys go head to head. So a horse situation, you put a bunch of targets hanging from stuff on pedestals at different heights and stuff, and they have to call their shots and hit them, and they play horse head to head. So it's like they're at a line, it's 60 feet away, and they just got to throw it any way. They can throw a sinker if they need to play the sink or whatever.
And it breaks like a plate.
And it breaks like a plate. And then you just do sponsored items, like you put the Adidas shoes up there. Just throwing Adidas out there again.
I love that. That's cool.
But I thought that'd be interesting. They'd probably talk trash. It'd probably be nice. But if you want to get really like technical with it with these guys like George Kirby and Gallen, I like the darts idea. Treating it like the darts World Series. I don't know if you guys have seen this kid.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Luke Littler kid? The 17-year-old who's like the world champion. He's
Triple 20.
And he's electric when he comes onto the stage. All the fans are real close. So you do a 9-pocket. You put some pockets around the edges, and then you literally do points where it's like darts. You have to get an exact number, and you got to call the shots or whatever. And they can play darts, but with a 9-pocket. Just playing catch. Pitchers do this. When they just play catch with each other, they try to hit targets and stuff. So you don't have to make it like throw your hardest or whatever. You can, even in the horse thing, you could call, I'm throwing a curveball. And like a referee's got to like check the grip. So you do it. I don't know. You can do all kinds of fun stuff.
Statcast can check that it's a curveball.
Yeah, check with curveball, or like it's limited to the pitches both guys have. Which, I mean, Kirby throws a knuckleball. You could do that. Like these guys, I think they would have a lot of fun with it, but I think they would take it really seriously too, and it'd just be their catch for the day. So
we could do other things that pitchers do. We could have them just shag the home run derby.
Shag the home run
All
derby.
the pitchers just hang out there.
We could watch them botch ground balls.
We could watch.
We
could
throw to bases.
Or in my case, just sit in the clubhouse.
We can watch them kill spread.
Yeah.
Just eat spread.
Eating video games the best.
Eating contest.
Complaining about everything.
Complaining about not pitching too much.
Yep.
Oh, I warmed up too many times. But which one is it?
Yeah, all those things. Yeah,
I hate you guys.
Give me another week. I'll come up with some way to.
Why do we want pitchers more involved?
Why not?
I just think it'd be fun.
I want the athletes on the field. I want the real athletes on the field.
I want the skills competition for the position players and stuff where they got to hit targets.
I want like races, velocities, like all that stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I just think it'd be cool. The darts thing is cool for me because you could have people like crowded around the thing, and I think that would be. They wouldn't be that. They've never been that close to a guy throwing a baseball, probably.
Yeah, and it's so tough to talk teams and anybody into letting pitchers do anything.
Yeah,
you guys are like
they got to play catch,
right? Like this is the most simple way to sell it.
No velo. Yeah, it's about hitting, and it's about hitting targets, which is what we're worried about the injuries and the velo and everything hurt. Just pitch. We'll get the guys who can pitch and go pitch.
Also, you get to see when they're throwing what the velo is for just playing catch, right? You're not
I want to
trying
see
to
George
whip it.
Kirby have to throw up and into a righty, a sinker, to get those points he needs. Like, he's got to go out of the zone. Like, I want to see guys have to do that. They have to go for a target. It's not just like wherever it goes.
Yeah, and they don't have to worry about hitting someone in the face.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I like it. All right, let's slap.
I don't know.
Or Kratz hats, run it.
I mean, when you're at the minor league, I was wearing this the other day when we did Futures game, but we didn't quite get there, but it's harder to see.
And we got 30 seconds, so make it snappy.
Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. It's their new logo that they sent it to me, and they told me I couldn't wear it till for a few days. I know it's harder to see, a little shine.
No, that's good. I like it.
It's a sick hat. It's
I like
Wisconsin
the
Timber
colors,
Rattlers, Brewers.
Trevor might have you beat today. That A's hat is fire.
That is a fire hat.
You can get AJ's hat, foulterritoryshop.com. But Trevor's hat is bringing it too. So for everyone watching right now on the YouTube side, Dodgers Territory is coming up in a few minutes. We'll have a few minutes of bonus content here. And for everyone watching on TV or on the Bally Sports app, we will see you on Tuesday, again, 4:30 to 6:30 Eastern time. Special show. Thanks to all the All-Stars that showed up today. Oh, and Peter Moylan, I guess, too. But Shota, Sale, Tanner Scott, the whole deal. We'll see you tomorrow. And FT fam, we're staying here to introduce a new sponsor. I am wearing their shirt. Trevor is often wearing their shirts. Eric and AJ.
Currently wearing their
do you have
shirt.
one on now?
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
I wear their shirts. What about me?
I will hook you up.
One of my most exciting moments was last year I walked into Chicago, and right there on Oak Street, there's a Viore. And I was like,
Good one.
They have a store?
They do. That's where I got this shirt.
In your
It's a
city,
good one in
too?
Chicago,
It's
too.
a big one.
It's a real good one in Chicago.
I mean, if you're going to be in Chicago and you want to sell
better,
things, like that's
You got to be flashy.
nice. I didn't know they had a store.
There's a store in New York City, too. That's where I
There's
went.
supposed to be open one in Orlando.
They're getting one?
There's a sign in the mall that says they're doing it.
Well, we know who's going to be the cardboard cutout face.
Scott,
yes.
I'm not the mayor. They better put the mayor on there.
His face, your body.
Love that.
So it's a new perspective on performance apparel, and everything is designed to work out in, but it doesn't look or feel like that. So you can just wear it anywhere. You can wear it on FT like we're doing right now. So comfortable. You're going to want to wear it all the time. It's comfier than whatever you're probably wearing right now. And I'll shout out what I wear often on flights. I've got the shirt today, but the Sunday Performance Jogger, which is a fresh take on athleisure and a staple in your wardrobe, designed to keep you moving with less bulk around your ankles. But this was a fun one because when we said we were going to partner with Viore and we started texting the FT fam, Trevor's like, cool, I already wear Viore basically all the time. And then other people were like, I want more Viore. So now I'm going to use the show code, which is FOUL, F-O-U-L. So we are offering 20% off your first purchase. You got to go to the website, viore.com/foul, VUORI.com/FOUL for 20% off your first purchase. And you can enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Again, when you use the website, you got to go to this specific site, VUORI.com/foul, FOUL, and discover the versatility of Viore clothing. So thanks to them for being a big sponsor of FT for the rest of the summer. We have Dodgers Territory coming up next, and then we will see everyone for Tuesday's show. Same crew. We'll be back tomorrow. There's Alana and Clint about to take over. Enjoy a little Dodgers content. They'll talk about Ohtani, I'm sure, and his 200th homer, and kind of a disaster weekend for the Dodgers in the ninth inning. We didn't have time to talk about it. They're going to cover it, okay? So check that out. We'll see everyone on Tuesday. Thanks for the Players House for hosting us. We'll be back here tomorrow in Arlington. See you then.